King, the junior from Manville, Texas, take the field with his high-flying Houston offense.
Now, he's not the biggest guy, and that's part of the reason why he's here at Houston. If he's 6'3", there's no telling where he'd be playing his college football, but he's explosive, and what's been fun to watch from him in these first few games is just how accurate he's been. 15 touchdowns, just 1 interception, and has thrown the ball in perfect location more often than not. He's been terrific since taking over at the end of last year.
A kid who was recruited by all the big programs, but as a defensive back or maybe a wide receiver, came here to Houston initially as a wide receiver. Since he took over at quarterback, big things for this Cougars offense. There's the speed of Stevenson. Took the flip from King on the first play of the game.
And you'll see how fast this Houston offense operates. They're the fastest in college football. They snap it every 18 seconds, so not a lot of time to breathe on defense.
King keeping it, trying to get a block from his running back, and De'Ara King gets a first down. They will keep up the up-tempo. It's interesting how Houston has had an offensive system the last few years that has been very productive. They scrapped it and went to something totally different, and it has really worked. A completion, first pass from King, at least traditional pass. Here's where they rank in all of college football. #1 scoring offense, #1 total yardage per game, over 600 yards a game. They've allowed 1 sack. They get rid of the ball quickly. They're going to hand it off. The run game has been pretty productive. Not this time, though. Patrick Carr stuffed.
And Kendall Briles really has brought a new scheme. He was with FAU last year with Lane Kiffin. So they've changed a little bit from what they've done. More RPOs and simplifying the reads for King.
First third down of the game. Great protection. King across the middle, and that pass was dropped. Not handled. That was right in the hands of Courtney Larkin. That should have been an easy first down. Instead, it's 4th and 8, and Houston's going to have to punt the ball.
It was a good design and a good throw, just a little bit low. You have to maintain catch all the way through, and as he's rolling over, that ball gets knocked out. Does he have it right there? Yeah, I mean, you can see on the field it was called an incompletion, and there's nothing that I would see from that angle that would make me think otherwise. Lark's just got to secure it over the middle.
So here's Dane Roy, who is an interesting punter. He's 6'7". He's also 27 years old. He punts this one to Jerian Anderson of Tulsa. No fair catch, and immediate tackle inside the 20, close to the 16-yard line. Isaiah Johnson, who is one of the stars on defense for Houston with the special teams tackle. And now the big story of the night for Tulsa is who will be their quarterback. Luke Skipper's made all the starts this year. He is not dressed tonight, has an upper body like a shoulder type injury. And so Seth Boomer, the redshirt freshman from Collinsville, Oklahoma, has never taken a snap at the college level. He will in about 10 seconds.
And welcome to college football, young man. Number 10, who's lined up right over your center. Might be the best player out there.
Ed Oliver immediately into the backfield on the first play. They got rid of it quickly, and Boomer completes his first college pass to Keenan Johnson.
The big thing for Boomer, though, is to be smart with the football. Luke Skipper, in these first few games, just hasn't managed situations really well. He's 10 turnovers, 6 interceptions, and 4 fumbles in the last 4 games. So they opened it up during their bye week, and clearly Boomer emerged as the guy they want to rely on moving forward.
They do have a productive ground game, and that is Corey Taylor, the sophomore. He ran the ball very well against Temple in a loss on the road to start Tulsa's conference year. They've got 2 running backs they really like. Taylor's one of them.
Yeah, and they are pretty good running the football. Good thing is for Houston, they're one of the best teams in college football against the run. So that's a matchup to watch, the trench battle between Tulsa and Houston.
Taylor with a carry on first down, got positive yardage. It will be interesting to watch Tulsa's tempo because they're also an offense that likes to go up tempo. We'll see tonight with a new quarterback on the road against a powerful team how fast Philip Montgomery wants to go. So far, pretty fast. Boomer, a little pump fake, and now pressured. He will throw, and almost should have been intercepted. He threw it right to Leroy Godfrey, the linebacker. Very lucky to get away with that one.
Very fortunate. He wanted to throw the bubble to the left-hand side, and the bubble was covered up. He escapes the pocket to the right, thinks he can work the hitch on the boundary, and sure enough, you can see sliding underneath it. not going to get many of those drops. You got to be smart with the football.
Good protection and a completion to Hobbs across the middle. Hobbs still on his feet into Houston territory. Justin Hobbs down inside the 40, a big play in the pass game. He is the big play receiver for Tulsa. That's 27 yards.
Yeah, he's a big body, so expect the freshman Boomer to rely on him quite a bit. Big catch radius for Hobbs.
Quickly to the line, the handoff Taylor, huge hole right up the middle. And a gain close to another first down. He was stopped short. They got lined up so fast the chain gang didn't even get set up before that play was run.
They will really force the issue when they get a fresh set of downs. That's when their tempo really ramps up for Tulsa.
So 2nd and 3, and a hit on Boomer. He throws into coverage, incomplete. Wow.
He's bringing pressure right off the edge. You can see number 22, Austin Robinson, coming right inside and putting a big hit on Boomer that forced the ball to go a little long to the wide receiver.
Well, Mark D'Onofrio, the defensive coordinator, linebacker coach at Houston, dialing up a pressure. We'll see if he does it on 3rd down. 3rd and 4. They do bring pressure. Boomer, I don't think he saw it. That pass knocked away, incomplete. From the backside, he took another hit. It's 4th down.
A little surprised they didn't run it there, knowing that it's probably going to be 4-down territory where they're at on the field. Instead, they decided to drop Boomer back, put him against this fierce pass rush. Fortunate that wasn't a sack or an interception. Worst case. You got to be aggressive on the road when you're 1 and 3 and trying to salvage your season.
They are going to run a play on 4th down at 4. Boomer steps up. Boomer will throw on the move. He's got a wide open man in the end zone. Touchdown. Tulsa goes for it. Keenan Johnson was all free, and Seth Boomer has his first touchdown as the Tulsa quarterback. What a start for the Golden Hurricane.
Just a great job by Seth Boomer. You got Ed Oliver breathing fire off the right edge. You step up with poise. You keep your eyes downfield. They bust the coverage, and you are rewarded with your first college touchdown. What a way to get it, too. Great throw.
It'll be Nate Walker for the point after. It is good. So Tulsa quarterback problems have plagued this team. They feel like they have played well enough to win games without mistakes. And so far, mostly mistake-free and some explosion as well.
No doubt about it. We mentioned it. Boomer looking a little like Boomer Esiason, except right-handed version. Moving out of the pocket to his right and celebrating. You'll never forget it. First touchdown for Boomer is a big one.
What a scene as the sun sets in Houston. You're watching the American Conference on ESPN, and a team that fancies itself as a power in the American. The Houston Cougars are going to have to play from behind tonight. Touchdown pass of 33 yards on 4th down. The first college touchdown throw for the new quarterback for Tulsa, Seth Boomer. And a kickoff deep in the end zone for another touchdown.
But a good job by Seth Boomer. A lot of rookie quarterbacks will move in the pocket and then all of a sudden become a runner. He kept his eyes downfield and delivered the ball nicely.
He got away with one bad throw. It was not intercepted and could have been, and then delivered a touchdown on the first drive of his college career. Patrick Carr over the left side. He has been the most explosive running back for Houston so far. So Boomer on the sideline can talk about it, soak it in. De'Aaron King throws, got hit as he threw. And that created the incompletion. It's 3rd down.
Yeah, a little pressure off the edge. Kind of like what Tulsa's doing. They're showing initially little coverage, and then you'll see number 6, who was the one that stepped up in that particular case, Diamond Cannon, who's listed as a linebacker but kind of a star nickel player. He'll come off the edge, but here they're going to drop 8.
The throw across the middle, tipped up. I don't think that hit the turf. Edmiston, the linebacker, picks it off. Now the ball poked away. It'll go out of bounds, and that's going to be Tulsa football. I thought it hit a foot, not the turf, and it should be an interception. That's how it was ruled on the field. Let's see if we can confirm that. It was not a great throw. Did that hit the turf?
No, if it's indisputable video evidence that you need to overturn it, man, that doesn't give it to me. Not right there. It just looks like it hits that heel, pops right up, and into the awaiting arms of Edmiston.
What a break for Tulsa. It was not a great throw, but then the fortunate bounce right into the hands of the middle linebacker, who almost took it to the end zone. So they took a look, and I think we are just going to play on their version of the turnover chain. Tulsa's got the lead and the ball. And it's not Seth Boomer. It is President, the running quarterback, maybe in the red zone. Let's go downstairs to Laura Rutledge.
Dave, we did see Seth Boomer come off to the sideline and be icing his left hand. He said somebody stepped on the hand, although he was telling them he's ready to go back in. Also, Shamari Brooks, the talented running back for Tulsa, in street clothes on the sideline after warming up, and the right ankle was bothering him too much to play in this game.
Thank you, Laura. Two pieces of information critical for Tulsa's chances. President keeps it. The Texas native, who is a big kid, got stopped after a short gain. It'll be third down. Not quite third and goal. Tulsa can get a first down inside the 5.
And you have to wonder why they would take out Seth Boomer. Here he comes. Yeah, there he comes, right on cue. In a passing down, he's the best option of the two. President, like you alluded to, Dave, being a little bit more elusive, a little better runner, and more north and south. But in a pass situation, you definitely have to go with the guy that just delivered his first career touchdown pass.
Third down, Oliver in the backfield quickly. Boomer being chased by Ed Oliver, throws across his body, and another one that should have been intercepted. That's 2 already for Houston that they have just out and out dropped. This time it was Gleason Sprewell, the safety. Boomer threw it right to him.
Man, this is one you have to have if you're Houston. I mean, Boomer rolls out, and the one rule, the golden rule of playing quarterback, never throw late over the middle, ever. And Boomer learns right there that you can sometimes get away with it, but my goodness, Houston, with the case of the drops he's on defense so far.
Well, Godfrey, the linebacker on the first Tulsa drive, and this time Sprewell, the safety, both just total dropped interceptions, balls thrown right to him. Tulsa gets a big break and takes advantage of a turnover that their defense did come up with. And the field goal makes it 10-0 Golden Hurricane. Well, this is an interesting start. We haven't even played 5 minutes. Tulsa was almost a 3-touchdown underdog coming into this game, but it is a team that has played Houston very tough. They smoked Houston last year, and they're off to a 10-0 lead. Now, De'Ara King will come out for the third time. The junior quarterback from the state of Texas. He was a great high school player. Probably was going to end up at TCU. Houston kind of came in late and offered him a chance to be in the quarterback room. He wasn't a quarterback right away. His defensive teammate Ed said this earlier this season: they need to take me out of the running for the Heisman, put De'Ara on that list. And the Houston offense with De'Ara King running the show has been great.
It's been off the charts. Very decisive, very accurate, and showcasing that playmaking ability that we've come to know from Houston over the years.
Swings it out on the right side, and a great open field tackle as Jeremy Singleton tried to turn it upfield. Diamond Cannon got him to the ground. Well, it's been a 3-and-out, and then essentially a 3-and-out, but worse, an interception on third down for the Houston offense. First 2 times they've had the ball. A broken tackle, and now a big run for Mulba Carr.
It's just amazing how fast they operate. I mean, how fast Kendall Briles signals it in. They're ready to roll in no time.
Terrence Williams, a Baylor transfer in the game at running back. He'll get the ball here. He is now healthy, and you can see how talented Terrence Williams is all the way out to midfield on first and very long. Kind of resets the down and distance for the Cougars. That's 15 yards. Williams takes another handoff, right side running, another big hole, try to spin move. They got upended to set up third down.
Yeah, there's only one team in the country that looks at 1st and 30 and say, no worries, no problem here. They just make it manageable with 2 straight run plays. Unbelievable.
They're going to play fake, and King's going to keep it. De'Ara King will get the first down inside the 35. Just like you said, isn't that something?
It's unbelievable. And it's been like this forever. And yet they still felt the need to bring in Kendall Briles and change how they're doing things offensively. Been all about the air, but on that last 3-play sequence, all about the ground and pound attack.
King looking downfield toward the end zone. That one is a jump ball and a catch for a touchdown. What a play by Keith Corbin. ...32 yards.
climb the ladder. Keith Corbin. Not great on the defensive side by Manny Bunch, just playing the receiver and not trying to play the ball. But how about the elevation and the high point? I mean, the vertical, he maxes out right as that ball hits his hands. Really well-timed jump.
Extra point, up and good. Was first and forever, and a few plays later, Cougars end up in the end zone.
And what an answer. Everything that could have gone wrong did in the first 5 minutes of this game, but you give D'Eriq King and this Houston offense a little time, they're going to make you pay for it. Keith Corbin on the receiving end of a beautiful D'Eriq King pass, and they cut the lead to 3.
And Big Ed Oliver and company getting ready to bring the defense back on the field after the Cougars offense gets points for the first time. 10-7 is the Tulsa lead, and a returnable kickoff. Returnable for not very long. The tackle inside the 15. Let's go down to Laura Rutledge.
Dave, let's really watch Ed Oliver this drive, because Major Applewhite's been challenging him a lot on the sideline, telling him, I need more out of you right here, a couple of times talking to him. Remember, Ed Oliver told us he was especially motivated for this game because of how they played against Tulsa last year.
A good shot there, a good little nugget from Laura, because Ed told Laura that it was his worst game as a college player. Tulsa, they beat up Ed Oliver. They beat up the Cougars last year. Boomer dancing around. Boomer will get away and throw downfield. It's a catch. Inside the 35, Keenan Johnson. What a play by the freshman Seth Boomer.
Are you kidding? You think you're Pat Mahomes? What is that? I mean, a little stiff arm, a little release, rolling left, right-handed, no problem. Throw it up the seam. And they drop coverage because they think Boomer's going to become a runner.
I thought he might just throw the ball away, or maybe generate another turnover. Tulsa sure has been loose with the ball again in this first quarter. It has been a problem that has plagued them all year. Boomer, handoff Taylor. Taylor's tough to get down. He got 4 yards on first and long. And now we move on. That's the call, and that's what it is.
And if you're Houston and if you're Tulsa, you say, all right, it is what it is, moving on, like we talked about a second ago. But now, I mean, obviously, 2nd and goal from the 22, you have to be really smart if you're Seth Boomer. I mean, understand the situation. It's highly unlikely that you're probably going to score a touchdown, so be smart. Guarantee yourself some points.
Taylor inside the 20. Now let's quickly go down to Laura Rutledge.
Well, guys, we saw Ed Oliver take a little break there. They are also without Isaiah Chambers. Houston's defensive line is. He's dealing with cramps on the sideline and has not been able to get back into the game for quite some time. Trying to work through it, though.
It may be October, but it's hot, it's humid still here in South Texas. 3rd and goal. Same principle applies here, I think, for Boomer.
Yeah, absolutely. Just know where you're at on the field. Know the situation. He's thrown a couple up for grabs that weren't reeled in. Be very mindful. Points are at a premium. No negative plays if you're Seth Boomer.
And they're going to stay conservative. Hand the ball off. Houston, I think, could see that coming. Gain a yard or so and set up the field goal try.
And a good call by Phillip Montgomery. Hey, take the game out of your redshirt freshman's hands. It's moving fast for him. He's made some nice plays for sure. But you don't want him to make another mistake where he throws it up for grabs when you're already in field goal range. Good job by taking the game out of his hands, giving it to the running back, and playing it conservatively.
The counter argument would be we're playing on the road against the highest scoring team in college football. Our field goal is going to be good enough. But I understand the decision, and the kick is up and good from 32 yards. Tulsa's played a heck of a first quarter. 22 seconds on the clock. They lead 13-7.
And I tell you what, going on the road in college football is no easy task.
We really haven't had kind of a wild, chaotic weekend yet. There's a mistake on the kickoff. Flag thrown as the ball is kicked off out of bounds. But maybe this will be the weekend where we finally get some college football chaos. Feels like we've kind of avoided that the first month of the year.
Some fascinating matchups. The one that I'm most excited about is probably that matchup between Oklahoma and Texas. The Red River rivalry, showdown, shootout, whatever they call it now. That's the game that certainly piques my interest as a kid from Dallas.
And off on first down. This is Williams. A couple of tough yards. I would say final play of the first quarter, but it's Houston with their high tempo. May not be. We'll see.
They might snap it 3 more times.
Second down and 8. King looks like he does want to get one more play off. Play fake. King now on the move, slings it out for a very short gain of a yard, maybe 2 to Courtney Lark. That will be the final play of the first quarter. Well, great start for Tulsa. A kid who had never taken a snap at the college level. Seth Boomer, his first career touchdown pass, and I'm betting that he will have plenty more. Acrobatic catch to answer for Houston, but the Golden Hurricane at the end of quarter number 1 have a 13-7 lead. One of the biggest cities in the United States, Houston, Texas, growing and growing, vibrant, diverse, all kinds of good things here in Houston. And this university, they love their hometown. But the Cougars football team, big favorites at home tonight, their conference opener as we start the second quarter. Trailing Tulsa 13-7. Dave Fleming, Greg McElroy, Laura Rutledge, happy to have you with us here on this Thursday night. De'Ara King and the Cougars offense trying to get it going here. Pressure comes. The throw across the middle is complete for a first down. And there's number 5, Marquez Stevenson. He needs to be more involved.
Yeah, they've tried to feature him, but Tulsa's done a good job of knowing where he's at on the field and not allowing him a ton of space.
It is true. Explosive plays, you can define those in a lot of different ways. Swing pass left side and a big hit. The ball pops out. The ball is out on the field. Tulsa has it. The Golden Hurricane come up with a turnover. McKinley Whitfield pounced on the ball. It was Terrence Williams who put the ball on the turf, and I think it did pop out.
Man, that was a huge collision. I mean, just massive as he tried to turn the corner. Boom. And sandwiched between 2 defenders, and yeah, it's clearly out.
Definitely. Cooper Edmiston, who came up with the interception very early in this game, now forces the fumble recovered by Whitfield.
Yeah, Cooper Edmiston, he's leading the team in tackles. I'll tell you what, man, when you watch them and you're trying to break down, all right, who got there first, he's there. I mean, you don't even have to bother looking for the number. It's Edmiston. He's the first guy to arrive almost all the time.
So their version of the turnover chain. That pass is incomplete. If you force the fumble, you get to wear it. I think Miami, whoever comes up with the ball gets to wear it. And maybe he just was sharing it. He put it on for a second and now he gives it up.
Well, he had it and it was in his possession and he had to eventually give it up. I mean, sharing is caring, right? I mean, I don't care who gets it, as long as it's being given out, right? That's a pretty good job.
Last week on Thursday night, we were in Miami for the real deal. The Hurricanes came up with 5 turnovers. Miami's defense last week on Thursday night against North Carolina not only generated 5 turnovers, they scored 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
3 defensive touchdowns. It's pretty remarkable. Handoff Taylor, nowhere to go. Right there, Ed Oliver. Now Ed got pushed back by a yard or 2. But still stuffed for a short gain. It'll be 3rd down. Corey Taylor's a strong kid, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. And you see Ed. I mean, that's a double team. I mean, between 2 players, combined weight between the 2 of them, roughly 620 pounds. And Ed just splits right between them. He's not the biggest guy in the world, but man, he's quick and disruptive. Doesn't matter how many guys you block him with, he's going to find some space.
3rd down. Boomer across the middle. Pass complete. Another Tulsa first down. And now the ball's on the turf. Stripped away. Hobbs gave it back to Houston. And the scramble after the scoop. Anderson is the guy who stripped the ball. And then I think it was Ed Goulet, the linebacker, who came up with it. And he did. Houston gets the ball back. What a wild sequence. Makes Terrence Williams maybe feel a little bit better after he fumbled just a few plays ago.
Yeah, it was a great design to get Hobbs in some space, but look at how loose Hobbs is with the football. I mean, what you're always told as a player when you're running with it in open space, high and tight, high and tight. Keep that ball high and tight to your body with all the points of contact with that ball against your body. You see Hobbs loose with it down around his waist. And a good job by Houston punching it out and jumping on the ball.
High scoring Houston offense, #1 scoring offense in the country coming in. De'Ara King with the quickness burst right out to midfield and across midfield, 1st down.
Yeah, De'Ara King has not had his A game throwing the football tonight. So what do? If you're an offensive coordinator? Kendall Brown says, hey, we'll get you comfortable by running you a little bit. They get him out on the perimeter. He bursts forward for a big gain.
1st and 10. And a play fake. King will throw. He waited and delivered it right on the money to Bryson Smith, the redshirt freshman from Tyler, Texas.
One-on-one. Kendall Briles, you can see him right there. They have options in their RPO packages, their run pass options. They can just tag anything. They have a run play called. All right, well, here, you run a corner. That's exactly what they did right there. One-on-one coverage, they hit it.
A little shoulder fake. King going deep down the middle with some contact. Here comes the penalty flag. I think you could see that one coming. Keanu Hill in one-on-one coverage. The flag against Tulsa. And one thing that I thought was really interesting, Kendall Briles told us, is he wants to be so high tempo. How do you speed up the tempo even more than most teams? There's no signaler. He calls the plays. He also signals in the plays.
Yeah, he does. And he signals in a double post right here. And a perfect play, honestly, against that defense. You have one-on-one with your safety, Manny Bunch, on the inside. Then you have a post on the outside in one-on-one. A little better throw and a little less contact by the defender. You might have a touchdown.
King. Hand off on 1st and long. Well, Bakar tackled after a gain of just a couple yards. The tape on the finger is almost like a catcher in big league baseball.
Yeah.
We use that the tape on the finger to make the signals a little easier to see.
Yeah, on the fingernails, right? Sometimes they paint their fingernails, make it a little easier to see.
I think it is an interesting theory that he has. Why have a middleman? Why, if you're trying to go fast, why have somebody else signal in the plays? I'll do it myself.
Yeah, and what he does is it's really simple. I mean, they kill him with simplicity.
Another handoff, big hole, good cut upfield inside the 20. That cuts down that yardage to go.
And it really is. I mean, you can see him. Here he is. All right, there's the play. Well, he just gave him the look signal. I wonder if that's going to be a little look back. And you see, look how quick. I mean, just a little yo-yo signal with his right hand. When it's his right hand, it usually means it's to the right. It's funny just how quickly they can operate. There's the look signal. He looks back. Make sure you want to confirm the play. He gives him the green light.
So on 3rd and 10, maybe you're willing to sacrifice some of that tempo to get in exactly the right look. King. Pressure comes. He gets away. De'Ara King out into the open. Touchdown. Sometimes your quarterback just has to make a play himself, and he did for 19 yards. That pocket was collapsing. I thought he was going to be corralled, but no.
You got to be really careful when you pressure De'Ara King. You see the pressure, the add-on by Zaven Collins, number 23. That allows so much disappearance underneath, and when your back-end cover guys are in man coverage, they're looking at the receiver. They're not looking at De'Ara King. He could have done the moonwalk into the end zone from where they were.
I might have liked to have seen that, actually. I mean, he had Miles Mouton just bearing down on him, looking like he was going to sack him no problem. And then that little quick move to his left. The seas parted, and Houston has its first lead of the night, 14-13. Let's go down to Laura Rutledge.
Well, Dave, we've seen Ed Oliver basically contained so far tonight in this first half, but a couple years ago, that was not the case against Lamar Jackson, as this Houston team took down the then 5th-ranked Louisville Cardinals, and it was a game of record for Ed Oliver. The entire game, pretty much a highlight reel for him. So we asked Lamar Jackson what he remembered about playing against Ed Oliver. Of course, Lamar now in the NFL with the Baltimore Ravens, and he said he's a great nose tackle. To me, the #1 player at his position. I remember he was everywhere, and I mean everywhere, when we played them 2 years ago. Lamar says looking forward to watching him play tonight.
And he didn't just say that, he texted that to Laura. So they had a little text exchange going about a guy who Lamar saw up close and personal on that Thursday night a couple years ago.
He's unbelievable. I mean, he is one of those guys that you have an APB on all the time. Doesn't matter where he's at. He could be lined up at safety. All right, where's number 10? Got to find him on every single snap.
Tulsa's going to signal fair catch and just take it at the 25. Hand off Taylor. Got a yard. I think it's pretty remarkable. Tulsa, no Shamari Brooks. He is the star of their whole team. He's their best player, their sophomore running back. He is not playing tonight. He's had an ankle problem that has lingered even with an extra few days of rest after a Thursday night game and an off weekend.
That's a significant
street close, and then Taylor's picked up the slack and run for some tough yards.
Yeah, he's played pretty well, Taylor has. I mean, he's averaging about 5 yards a carry, which is nearly double what Houston gives up.
And off. Oliver was in the middle of everything, and he got some help from his teammates. No gain. 3rd and long coming up.
This defense has a tendency to swarm, and they aren't the biggest. Even at Oliver, undersized for his position, probably around 275 pounds. List them at 280, 290, probably closer to 275, and probably a little closer to 6 foot than he is 6'2". But they're undersized and they fly around. Not as big as they were a couple years ago, but still very athletic at every spot on the defense.
3rd and 17. And a handoff, a delayed kind of draw play. Taylor bounced off one would-be tackler and got close, but stumbles down maybe 3 yards short. It'll be 4th down. This part of the field, I would think Tulsa's going to punt the ball away.
Yeah, and if you're Houston, you have to be looking at yourself and saying, all right, we've given up a couple big plays. One was a touchdown because we were not sound in our responsibilities in the back end when Boomer has exited the pocket. So if I'm Houston's defense, yeah, we might only have a 1-point lead, but I'm feeling pretty good about some of the plays I've made given the tough spots we've been put in by our offense.
Bennett, the punter. That's another line drive kick. It's going to bounce on the turf, though. Bryson Smith will back away. That, in the end, is going to be a good punt from Tulsa's perspective, all the way down inside the 15 to the 14-yard line. That's 54 yards with no return. King, high snap, another handoff. That's a 1st down and more. Patrick Carr out into the open with the speed. Breaking tackles into Tulsa territory down to the 48.
Man, it's just a matter of time sometimes with this Houston offense. You can't contain them the entire game. You're going to give up some plays. You just got to tackle as well as you possibly can.
King going to throw over the top, looking for his tight end, incomplete. It'll be 2nd down. You said something interesting earlier. The way Tulsa plays defense, trying to prevent those big plays, make it tough to go over the top. You have to be patient against this defense. I think Houston's starting to be a little bit more patient.
Yeah, you have to be really patient, and you have to be committed to the run game. If you look at Tulsa's defense, they have 3 safety structure in the back end. That's exactly what they have, so they kind of force everything underneath.
Carr still going. Mulva Carr maybe a little bit short, but they spotted him with the forward progress for a Houston 1st down.
And as a result of that 3 safety structure, they oftentimes only have 5 defenders in the box offensively, which is a very favorable run count.
Now they get Stevenson with his speed to the outside, tackled after a gain of 3. I think it's an interesting point you make about what's available against this style of defense.
And it's hard, too, when you're a quarterback like De'Aaron King and you're so used to just big play, big play, big play. It's hard to be patient and take small chunks down the field.
The chunks are getting bigger on the ground, aren't they? Another one from Mulva Carr, another Houston 1st down. Why stop doing it? Well, hopefully Cooper Edmiston is okay. King, play fake, will swing it out. His tight end open. Turning it upfield. Gang tackled Romello Brooker. Nice 1st down gain. Under 4 minutes to go until halftime.
It'll be interesting to watch Tulsa's defense. Now that Edmiston's out, who's the one that's communicating the defensive call to everybody else on the field? With the tempo that Houston uses, it's hard to put that responsibility on a freshman in Zaven Collins, number 23, like you see right there.
Ninth play of the drive. They run it straight ahead, and who's there to make the tackle? I guess he's feeling okay.
Thank goodness. And he just comes back out, no problem. A little dirt on it. Let's get ready to rock. It's 3rd down. You have to wonder, too, at some point, when is Houston going to get the ball to Marquez Stevenson? Number 5 just hasn't been very involved in this game.
A shoulder fake. He's open here. They will swing it to him. Now can he make a couple defenders miss? Made me make one, but not four. Tulsa had that defended well.
Yeah, they did. And that was a little fake bubble to Stevenson. Stevenson was actually the decoy there, and they tried to throw it deep. It's called a pump play. And what did we just tell you about the Tulsa defense? They don't allow deep shots. They don't allow you to get on top of them. So they'll give up the underneath, rally up to the football, and make you kick a field goal. But you are not going to get cheap yards against this defensive structure.
Dalton Witherspoon from 40 yards. This would be his long of the year. He's only attempted 2, and it's good. He's got a new career long. Dalton Witherspoon, the sophomore, has that Houston lead 17-13. Texas got him to the ground. And it looks like the Cougars are going to be content just to let the first half wind down. And Big Ed Oliver and company getting ready to bring the defense back on the field. And a returnable kickoff. Returnable for not very long. The tackle inside the 15.
Boomer's been pretty solid. It hasn't been perfect. He's made some mistakes, but he's been kind of fortunate too. Some of those mistakes were not taken advantage of by Houston.
Another handoff to Taylor. This time he'll bounce it outside. He shows the capability of doing that as well. Got close to the first down. The redshirt freshman from Collinsville, Oklahoma, 7 for 17, 132 yards. He was under a lot of pressure in the first half. And I think the thing you said, Ed Oliver hits Taylor. He spins right out of that hit from the All-American and gets a Tulsa first down. The thing you said about Boomer was he made some big-time throws in the midst of some mistakes. This is the play we were talking about with Oliver.
Yeah, there he is. I mean, just pushing the offensive lineman back. And they need to continue to try to establish the ground attack. This is who Tulsa is. They're a spread team. They're a tempo team. But they're not a team that's going to really air it out. They're going to be 60% run in a perfect world. So they need to continue to try to establish this, take the pressure off their quarterback.
Up the middle again. This time not Taylor. It's Javon Thomas, the junior. It's been a nice 1-2 punch. Maybe not the 1-2 punch we would have expected with no Shamari Brooks tonight. But Thomas has been a good secondary back.
And that's probably their best position. Just top to bottom depth. Quality. Running back for Tulsa is a spot that's really jumped out.
Hand it off again. Thomas again. Nice run on first down.
Guys, the other thing that Tulsa head coach Philip Montgomery said coming out of the half is that they have to win the first 4 minutes of this second half. He said that's crucial in being able to win this game.
And you can listen to you on ESPN Radio.
Stream it on your app. I will be there. Jim Bowden and I have the call for that American League Division Series.
I'm a diehard Dodger fan, so
yes,
this is my first trip back to Houston. And I must be honest, I had a difficult time looking in the direction of Minute Maid as I drove by.
Some Game 5 nightmares?
Some Game 5 nightmares when Kershaw gave up, what, 15 runs or something along the lines of that. It was just one of those very heartbreaking moments for me, and I've never seen my team win a championship. But I was happy for my friends that are, in fact, Houston Astros fans.
So you were born in what year?
1988. I was 4 months old when Kirk Gibson went yard. Looks like Houston's showing a little pressure off the right-hand side, but if they show it that early, usually means they might drop out or bring it from the other side.
It's 3rd and 11. It's been a productive drive for Tulsa in borderline field goal range here. Boomer, pressure picked up. He throws across the middle, right through traffic, completed for a first down to Stokes.
Yeah, I was getting ready to show a little space. And it was a nice job by Boomer delivering the ball over the middle. I mean, that's not an easy throw. A lot of potential danger in there.
Hand it off again. The first 5 plays of this drive were all running plays. Short gain on first down. Another tackle for Big Ed Oliver.
Ed Oliver is just so disruptive, but they've had some opportunities turning him with a double team. If you see big number 72 Tyler Bowling and Chandler Miller both working in that direction, they've had some chances to run the ball effectively.
Boomer on the move, throws again, right there, complete to Hobbs for a first down. Tulsa.
This is what Boomer's done best tonight, is nothing there initially. Okay, I'll leave the pocket. I'll change the rush lane, and I'll find guys in scramble drill. And that's what Tulsa's really been effective doing. Not great with their drop back game, not great with their underneath stuff or over the top, frankly, but broken plays and scramble drill, they've been quite effective.
Taylor straight ahead, ran into his own man. We talked about how big Tyler Bowling is for a guard. Corey Taylor found out firsthand.
He is a big boy. I mean, it's not often here at the group of 5 level you see guys that are that big and barrel chest. I mean, he is a big dude and is actually held up really well. I mean, when he goes to the combine in Indianapolis and the scouts ask him, hey, what tape do you want us to show? If I'm him, I'm saying, hey, put on the Houston game. He's played really well against Ed Oliver.
Another run straight ahead. They run away from Oliver. Stuffed by the Cougars defense, 3rd and goal.
Tough down and distance here for a redshirt freshman quarterback. If I'm Houston and I'm Mark D'Onofrio, I want to drop 8. I want to only rush 3 guys because I want as many defenders there in the end zone as humanly possible. And if I'm on the other side and I'm Philip Montgomery, and I might think about potentially running it depending on how wide those outside linebackers may get relative to the box, but with the numbers not looking good for a run.
Play clock down to 3, down to 2, down to 1. They get it snapped. They fake the handoff. Boomer in scramble mode, going backwards. Keeps the play alive, gets a block. Boomer will lose the ball out of bounds. Well, he bought as much time as he possibly could, but never found anybody to throw the ball to.
Oh, he had a guy early, too. If you take a look at it, watch number 6, Chris Minter, over the middle of the field. That's a touchdown. Look at that space. Look at all that room in the back of the end zone. That is just a little play action, and you try to slip that tight end right up the seam. Minter was open, but the redshirt freshman Boomer just couldn't find him and had to try to scramble to make a play.
Well, almost more than 5.5 minutes on the drive, 12 plays, and it will end with a field goal that is good to cut the lead to 1. Laura said they wanted to control the first 4 minutes of the second half. Well, they had the ball the whole time and then some, and got points on the board. It's a 1-point game in Houston. Well, back here in Houston, where the Cougars defense was on the field for a good long while to start this second half. Tulsa marched down the field, 13-play drive, 65 yards, better than 5.5 minutes. It's a 1-point game, and now De'Aaron King will bring the offense back out.
Yeah, and he's had a great start to the season, but hasn't been quite as sharp tonight. Hasn't been as accurate, and the decision-making has been a little up and down. You have to wonder if he's feeling a little bit impatient with the structure that he's seeing by the Tulsa defense. You did see that touchdown run. That was a nice job in the red zone with all that disappearance, and when the Hurricane brought pressure off the right-hand side, he escaped north and south and found pay dirt for a big touchdown.
Now the kickoff deep with Stevenson. Now has a chance to actually return one. Marquez Stevenson, with all his speed, ran right into the Tulsa special teams coverage and is tackled short of the 20-yard line. That was Marquez Stevenson on the sideline, lying on his back. First down run for a gain of just a yard by Patrick Carr. One thing, it's deceiving because their lines on the sideline. It almost looks like he's in the middle of the field. He is not. He is on the sideline. 2nd down and 9. King will swing it out. Carr right along the sideline. Nice cut back middle, but they say he stepped out of bounds. He stepped out of bounds. So that negates all that yardage. It's not a first down. It's going to be 3rd and long.
Yeah, the line judge was right on it as he stood right behind him as he was working his way forward. And a good job checking it down right there. Being patient. They'll give up those underneath throws, Tulsa will, defensively, and you can see that right foot right out of bounds on about the 19-yard line. Good job by the official.
It feels like a big play. Houston's defense was gassed. They were on the field for a long time. The Cougars offense is in danger of going 3 and out. King dancing around. King will throw, and right over the defender, juggled and apparently caught. Now there's a flag, and I think he must have been out of bounds and come back in. So I think that's going to be an illegal touch on Courtney Lark.
Yeah. He was not forced out, and you can see the official with his hat off. That's because he saw a wide receiver go out of bounds, come back in, and catch it. So we'll see it. You can see the releases and D'Eriq King coming around.
He had gone
Illegal
out
touching. Offense number
much
9.
earlier.
The loss of down. 4th down.
Can't
So
really
it will
see
be
it.
a 3 and out.
Yeah, you can't really see it there, though. And you see the structure, though, by Tulsa's defense. Like, everything is going to be, they'll give it up underneath. They'll give up a little hitch route. They'll give up bubble routes. They'll give up swing routes. But they won't let you get over the top of them. They do a really good job of making you play offense. And Houston, not a great job executing early in the second half.
Dane Roy, the Australian native punter. Sort of a short punt, but no return. Tulsa will have the ball. Good field position at their own 40-yard line. Just a 4-man pressure. Boomer across the middle. He's got his man open for a big completion into Houston territory. It's Stokes once again all the way inside the 30. They never got him to the ground, but they did blow the play dead. That's 31 yards.
It's a great job by Boomer recognizing the disappearance and the roll down on the right-hand side, which allowed some vacancy there at the 3rd level. As you can see, number 13, Joao Williams, he was at safety. He rolled down, and as a result, the intended wide receiver ran right by him. Boomer was all over it.
Play fake on 1st down, throwing the ball. Another completion with the knee down, short of a 1st down, but a nice gain on 1st down for the Golden Hurricanes. Totally different team with number 12 at the helm.
Yeah, he's done a great job tonight, and it hasn't been without a couple hiccups. He did throw it into the awaiting arms of a couple of Houston defenders who were unable to bring it in. But for the most part, on 3rd down, he's thrown it well. He's escaped the pocket. He's been poised and hasn't been too big for him.
Boomer being chased, just flings that one away to set up 3rd and short. Well, Tulsa fans might be thinking, man, we can just hit the reset button with a new quarterback who looks like the real deal. Philip Montgomery's always been a good quarterback's coach.
Yeah, and they're better than their record would indicate, too. I know 1-3, it jumps out. And just, oh, my goodness, what's wrong with Tulsa? But they're better than that. They really have played teams close, including the Texas Longhorns, by the way, and Tulsa had a chance to potentially win that game.
Taylor straight ahead on 3rd and short, got stuck right at the line, kept those legs moving, and he's close, very close, but maybe short depending on the spot. We'll see. It looks to me like they spotted him right near that line. 1st down.
It looked like it was a little bit short, but that yellow line, of course, is unofficial.
And the referee said 1st down. The public address announcer here in the stadium said 4th down. So you hear the boos from the fans. They were thinking a 4th down play was coming. So now we'll see what Tulsa wants to do. They are going to go for it. And they do not have Seth Boomer. They get the big kid, Chad President, the junior from Temple, Texas.
Let me give you one piece of advice. Do not run it at number 10. Anyone but him can be your entry point in the line.
Taylor runs right toward the middle of that line, gets the 1st down. Corey Taylor is impressive.
Yeah. They go, and you look at this defense for Houston, they're very active. They slant, they move right there, they move to the left, they hit it right in behind it. And Corey Taylor's done a really nice job today. He's earned his yards, he really has.
Career high game with a lot more game to be played. President keeps it after the play fake and gets down to the 10-yard line. So it almost does look like this has been by design. Shamari Brooks is out. He's the starting star tailback. Luke Skipper, who started every game at quarterback, is out and might have lost his job anyway, even if he hadn't been hurt. President looked like he bobbled the snap there, handed it off to Taylor. Got stopped short. It'll be another 3rd down.
Yeah, but this is definitely by design. Shamari Brooks is out. And Coleman's done a really nice job. Or excuse me, Corey Taylor's done a really nice job. But at this point of the field, it's so imperative to try to create yards on the ground that forcing Houston to account for the quarterback run game is really nice design down here on this part of the field.
Taylor again right up the middle. Touchdown Tulsa. And the Golden Hurricane have the lead back here on the road. Wow. So with a lead of 5, Major Applewhite wondering what Tulsa is going to decide to do. They will just take the extra point. 8 yards for the Corey Taylor touchdown. Tulsa has run 22 plays in this quarter. Houston has officially run 2. This quarter has just been dominated by Tulsa, and mostly just by possessing the ball. What an impressive drive once again, and what an impressive sophomore running back.
Outstanding start to the second half by the Tulsa Golden Hurricane, establishing the line of scrimmage, getting the ground attack going, and picking the lead back up.
And the defense for Houston has been on the field almost this entire half. Touchback. Cougars offense comes back out. So this feels like a drive where the Cougars have to at least make some first downs. And they will get just a yard on first. Edmiston, who has really played a heck of a game tonight at middle linebacker, made the tackle.
He's been off the charts good. I mean, his tackle production has to be unbelievable.
Play fake. King gets it to Stevenson. Tried to spin away from a tackle. Did get an extra couple of yards. He is short, though, by a yard. Kind of slow to get up.
He's really been limited tonight. I mean, that's his 5th catch, but only 27 yards to show for it.
Pressure comes from the edge. King goes down. Zaven Collins, the redshirt freshman, got there in a hurry. And you can hear the Houston fans. They are getting cranky. The #1 scoring offense in college football, the #1 yardage offense in college football, has 2 yards in the second half. And we're almost a full quarter in.
Sometimes with that 3-cloud defense, those 3 safeties, they rock you to sleep. And then sure enough, Collins comes off the right edge, unblocked, makes the play.
End over end punt, not a real good one. Dan Roy is struggling here tonight. It's going to be another good spot for Tulsa to start another drive. The Golden Hurricane starting to take charge of this game with the ball, leading by 6. You're watching the American Conference on ESPN from Houston, Texas, where the Cougars, who feel like they are one of the best teams in the American, one of the best teams in the group of 5, a team that has a chance to get into a New Year's 6 bowl game, a team that has a chance to win this tough conference. It is gut check time for the Cougars right now at home against 1-3 Tulsa, because in the second half it has been all Tulsa and all Tulsa offense. They've had the ball almost the entire second half. They're going to hand it off again, and Corey Taylor has been a big reason why.
Yeah, you say gut check time. It's all about the Tulsa offense against this Houston defense. I mean, this Houston defense needs to be their backbone in a situation like this. Your offense is sputtering a bit. Consecutive 3-and-outs, which you almost never see by Houston. You got to rely on Ed Oliver and company to pick them up.
Play fake, throw across the middle, wide open Hobbs. Into Houston territory, inside the 35, down to the 31. They are just rolling now.
Yeah, when you get the running game going, it opens up so much in the back end. Now these safeties and these linebackers, they're keyed on what's going on in the backfield. Next thing you know, Boomer pulls it, hits Hobbs for a big play downfield.
They're playing some inspirational football. For more on Christian, let's go down to Laura.
Well, yeah, Dave, for Christian Williams, it was the worst news he could ever possibly get, that his football career would be over, the sport he loves so much. But he's really taken to the role of being a coach down here on the sideline. Every single time, whether it's offense or defense, anything happens that's positive, he's jumping around. He's so excited, and he's also coaching up this defense a lot. He's been so influential from that standpoint and really making the most of his situation, which certainly isn't ideal.
A terrible story, but it's turned into a pretty cool story for this Tulsa team, looking for a huge win. It would be their first conference win of the year, and by far their biggest win of the season. Tulsa just dominated the third quarter with the big guys, with the fast guys, with their young quarterback, and their running backs leading the way. On to the fourth. Tulsa leads 23-17. Well, welcome back here to ESPN's Thursday Night College Football. It is 23-17, presented by Dave & Buster's. Tulsa, as we start the fourth quarter, almost a 3-touchdown underdog And they have the lead and the ball on the move. They have dominated the second half. Their offense has been on the field almost the entire game since halftime. And they're in the red zone once again for 2nd and 9 as we start the fourth quarter. Dave Fleming, Greg McElroy, Laura Rutledge. A big story developing here for a good Houston team that is in trouble at home. Hand off Taylor. Bounces it right side and gets down to the 16.
This is what Tulsa's been doing. I mean, they say, all right, that's fine. I know you got a first-round pick sitting right here wearing number 10. We're going to take the fight to you. And they have really challenged this Houston defense in their front seven. They have big backs. Corey Taylor's 220 pounds. Devon Thomas is almost 240.
They do hand it off, and Taylor will get them into better field goal range. Just purely a guess, but on 3rd and 16, I think that's what Tulsa was doing.
Yeah, and a field goal makes it a 2-score game. Your defense is playing well. Let's not put Seth Boomer in a position where he could throw it to the opposition. He's been sound for the most part with his decisions, but don't take unnecessary risks with the football. On long yardage situations, they've run it time and time again. It's worked out pretty well for him to this point.
A 35-yard try, middle of the field. The kick is up, and it is good. Tulsa, more points on the board with 13:10 to go here. The Golden Hurricanes playing a heck of a game in the state of Texas. They lead the Cougars of Houston 26-17. Make some noise in the Big Ten and more. Fair catch. Houston will take over at the 25. Let's go down to Laura.
Well, Dave, an astute Greg McElroy was wondering about the sense of urgency here on the Houston sideline. And I got to say, very calm from offensive coordinator and play caller Kendall Briles talking to D'Eriq King, his quarterback. He simply said, hey, man, we've got to run the football here. And he said, we do that well. King nodding in agreement. I'd be very surprised, guys, if we see a lot of pass calls on this drive.
Well, look at the good stuff from Laura down there. Astute, I don't know. But Greg McElroy did ask that question. Laura found out the answer for you. The numbers are just staggering of how little offense Houston has generated. This is their longest scoreless stretch of football this year. They do hand it off, as Laura said, to expect outside the 30 to about the 31. A nice gain on 1st down.
Yeah, not only to run the football just to change things up, but also to give their defense a bit of a rest. I mean, their defense has been on the field the entire second half, so they have to manufacture a drive right here to give them a little blow.
Well, they do have a 1st down. That's a start. They hadn't had one of those since halftime, which is kind of hard to believe with under 13 minutes to go. Cougars will get lined up and snap it very quickly. King, that looks like a design quarterback run all the way. D'Eriq King with his quickness to the outside. There goes King. 30, 20, 10, touchdown. And I guess that's why you don't panic when you got number 4. Wow, what a run. Correct me if I'm wrong, 61 yards. That looked like a design all the way.
All the way. Quarterback lead sweep. And nothing but green grass and pure speed.
Well, we don't like to make comparisons, but we do have the best reporter in college football down there on the sidelines. And what did Laura say? No panic and expect the ground game for Houston.
Yeah, so much for that rest that the Houston defense is going to get.
Oh, boy.
But they will take the field with only a 2-point deficit as compared to the 9 that they had just a moment ago. All because of D'Eriq King. Look at him turn the corner. Nobody can gain on him.
Yeah, what did Laura call you? Astute?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
so,
why.
I mean, it has been very, very one-sided in regards to time of possession, which doesn't always matter. But when you have a team that's really trying to run the football, it can affect you.
Coach Saban will be proud of your math. That's a handoff. Stuffed right at the line of scrimmage. Corey Taylor.
Product of the UIL public school system in the state of Texas. That's why I was able to do that math. That's what it was. South Lake Carroll.
Greg does have that Texas background. You're back
I am
in
a Texan.
You weren't born and raised here, but you went to high school in Texas. And you call yourself a Texan. There's Taylor, usually running up the middle, this time to the outside. Got stopped about a yard short. Big third down play coming up, and Taylor's going to have to limp off the field.
Yeah, huge third down play here. Your defense just got really pushed around. This is an imperative drive here.
I said he was definitely limping, but he's not going off the field. He should have. He should not have been in the game. He was asking to come out, and they wanted to run the play, and maybe it wouldn't have mattered, but he was hurt, and they gave the ball to a guy who was trying to get off the field. He's limping now. I mean, it's easy for me to say, but I could see him trying to signal to get me out of the game.
Yeah, I mean, you can see, I mean, he just doesn't hit the hole with any type of conviction. I mean, if there's one thing they've done tonight, and they haven't always won up front, but they've won most of the time, is that their running backs have run hard. They put their shoulders down. They've run behind their pads. And that was really the first time tonight in which you saw a running back kind of tiptoe through the hole, and as a result was sacked for a loss.
Well, it's hard to blame him because he wasn't healthy.
Yeah.
One of those long line drive punts. Bryson Smith makes the first man miss. Out of bounds short of the 20. They got lined up and snapped the ball and gave it to him. Nice run to the outside. Patrick Carr. Stutter step move. Still in bounds. Almost to midfield. Here comes Houston.
And when they gain momentum, man, it's so difficult to slow this offense down. Laura reported earlier that Kendall Briles, the offensive coordinator, man, he wants to run it.
Handed off on 1st and long. Well defended by Tulsa there. Ball to Carr. Just a short gain. Bryson Powers made the tackle. You survived this upset bid from Tulsa. The schedule is there for Houston to have a really special regular season and make that conference championship game really meaningful. Stevenson open, and that's not Stevenson. That's one of his teammates staying in bounds for a nice gain. Courtney Lark, who jumped off sides a moment ago, maybe makes up for it a little bit with that catch and run.
Yeah, I think Houston, though, referencing what you were just describing, they are as explosive as anybody in the group of 5 and can certainly get it done.
Well, I don't know why they signaled third down. It was definitely a first down. Patrick Carr, the chains aren't set. Nobody's organized on the sideline. Houston's organized, though. They hand the ball off for a gain of 8.
That's what's most important. As long as the offense knows what they're doing, let the officials do whatever they have to do.
Second and short for the Cougars inside the red zone. King handoff, and well defended by Tulsa. That spin maybe got a half yard or so to set up 3rd down and 1.
Just amazes me as we look at Kendall Briles. You see him give that little flip signal. That's all the play is. It's as simple as that. Little flip. That's what it is.
And Tulsa was ready for it. The flip didn't work. Carr stuffed. So now I think Houston's going to be forced to take the points. So that'll be disappointing for De'Aaron King and the offense. Great stuff by the Tulsa D.
You want to know what's really frustrating, though, as Houston runs off the field? Is they have everything going for them. A ton of momentum. The offense is rolling. Next thing you know, the white hat, the official, blows it dead, stops it for 15 seconds. Tulsa can gather themselves, and all the momentum that you just created is out the window. And now you're kicking a field goal 2 plays later.
Kick is up, and it is good right down the middle. That's big, obviously, because it puts Houston back in front with under 8 minutes to go. And I think, in a different scenario, Houston may well have gone for it on 4th down. When you're down 2, you got to take the 3 points.
Absolutely, and knowing how your defense played on the last drive. I mean, your defense finally showed a bit of a pulse. Take the points, get the lead. Hope that you can get a good stop right here.
And we'll see. Houston's going to kick the ball back to the Golden Hurricane. Javon Thomas has run the ball pretty well when he's had a chance tonight. He's got 31 yards on the ground, but not like Taylor. This kickoff toward the goal line. It is returnable for Tulsa, straight up the middle, and a nice return with a penalty flag thrown. The kicker, Caden Novikov, was the guy who ultimately made the tackle. Crawford with the burst right up the middle.
During the return, holding 25. 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
Dave, Corey Taylor was just handed his helmet. He was asking for it, but he could barely walk down the sideline. It's the left ankle that's bothering him the most. They've heavily taped it, also heavily taped the right ankle for extra support over there. He keeps pointing to the top of the ankle, though, on the left side. It's giving him a lot of pain. I'm not sure that he's going to come back in this game, but he wants to really badly.
And that's a huge loss. And when you are a big back like that and you hurt your ankle, you can't do a whole lot laterally.
Play fake. Boomer on the move. Boomer being pressured, just gets out of bounds. Third down coming up, and a very big one for the young freshman quarterback.
Yeah, it really is. Welcome to college football, Seth Boomer. Your number 1 running back is out. Your number 2 running back is out as it stands right now. And by the way, Houston is forcing the issue too. They're really starting to load that box. And they're going to make Seth Boomer beat him to see whether or not he's capable.
3rd and 9. Here comes the pressure, and the ball's out. The ball's on the turf, and Houston recovers. Egbule recovered the fumble. It was poked out by, I believe, Elijah Gooden, who came on the pressure. And a huge turnover. Tulsa knows that's a big one.
Well, it hasn't been a ton of pressure tonight, but they go with a loop by the linebacker. It's picked up nicely at first, but there is an unblocked rusher. And that unblocked rusher is Elijah Gooden as he strips the football from Seth Boomer. A nice design by Mark D'Onofrio, beating that protection and getting a free rusher. And they make a critical turnover deep in Tulsa's end.
And I don't want to beat the point into the ground again, but Ed Oliver was taking up so much attention in the middle there. King flips the ball, caught. It is a touchdown. Touchdown, Romello Brooker. That did not take long. Gooden with the strip sack. Houston's offense immediately into the end zone.
They've been running the ball so effectively that now Tulsa's defense, they take the bait on the run fake and the jet sweep action, which allows Brooker to just leak into the flats, and a huge touchdown.
Kick the extra point to take the 8-point lead. 6:48 to go. This game has totally flipped. Houston now ahead at home with under 7 to play. All right, we're back here in Houston, and those smiles were not around even just a few minutes ago. 17 unanswered points in 6.5 minutes for the Cougars. They lead 34-26, 6:48 to go here. Tulsa beat up at their most important spot on offense, the running back spot. And they'd have to lean on the redshirt freshman quarterback making his first start as a college player. The kickoff from Houston into the end zone for a fair catch. And a touchback. Dave Fleming, Greg McElroy, Laura Rutledge with you here. Boomer throws into coverage. You can see that one coming. Intercepted by Houston, Deontay Anderson.
They try to go with just a little out route. There's not a whole lot to it. He's reading eyes the whole way, undercuts it. And as a result of the late throw by Boomer, I mean, just jumps right all over it. I mean, it's perfectly defended. His eyes take the defender right to it. He's late. And as Stokes breaks out of his route, the defender's there to undercut it immediately. Nice play by Anderson.
Unlike his teammates early in the game, Anderson actually caught the interception. Houston dropped a couple of them early. Those were big plays in the first few minutes of the game. Handoff, Mulder-Carr cuts it middle, inside the 10, down to the 6. 1st and goal, Houston. The turnovers, that's the story of their season. More turnovers than any team in college football. They have just undermined everything for the Golden Hurricane. Touchdown. Marquez Stevenson.
Wow. It's amazing how fast they can just pile it on. This game was a 1-point game 2 minutes ago. it feels like. Real-time 2 minutes, not football time 2 minutes. Next thing you know, Houston's an extra point away from being up 15. I mean, they can just pour it on you so quickly offensively.
Football time, under 7 minutes of game action, 24 unanswered points in about 6 minutes and 50 seconds. That is a blitz.
It most definitely is. And now that they have the run game going, everything's open downfield. You can hit your rollouts, you can hit your quarterback run game, you can hit your nakeds, you can hit your corner routes, off play action. The run game is really the headliner for this Houston team. If they can run the ball effectively, it makes it almost impossible to contain some of the speed they have at wide receiver.
Now, how about Tulsa, 10 first downs in the third quarter. They have not made a first down in the fourth quarter. So you have to give that Houston, we got push-ups from players also. Guys who are not actually playing in the game, let's point that out. They're not making the guys who are about to run out onto the field do some push-ups. There's Ed Oliver. It was a hard-working night for him, wasn't it? I mean, he got double-teamed, triple-teamed. He still made 12 tackles, a tackle and a half for a loss. In case you missed it, we did ask him to step out of his comfort zone a little bit. And it wasn't all smooth sailing. Pothole in the golf cart, maybe a few potholes trying to do our open for us from yesterday.
Good night. All right, come on, one more time. I got it. Oh, okay. I was so confident. No, I'm not. I do love being in the spotlight. That's that money? That's where the money come? I feel like everybody looking at me. You want me to go so slow? To be or not to be. Unstoppable. Like that.
So there was that one part where Ed was like, I feel like everybody's looking at me. So we all, including our producer, Scott Matthews, Lori Privatera, we all turned our backs, guys, to make him feel a little more comfortable up there.
Whatever it takes. Good TV.
He is one of a kind, man. Like, it's just, not only is he one of a kind as a player, because there's just not a lot of guys like him. Like, he's drawn comparisons to Aaron Donald. I don't know if he's quite Aaron Donald. I think he'd love to be in a perfect world. But he's just such a unique personality. And to be the first ever five-star player ranked as highly as he was ranked in ESPN's recruiting rankings, to choose a group of 5 program, to stay home, to represent his city, and to take such pride in that, he's just so unique, man. He's been special to cover these last 3 years.
And I give him credit for doing something totally out of the ordinary for him. He's playing hard right to the end. He makes another tackle, so that final stat line has not been written, but we asked him to go over there and read a few lines for a TV open, something he's never done before. You can obviously tell the personality. He had a good attitude about it. Fun guy to be around, Ed Oliver. Boomer takes off. Boomer across midfield will go out of bounds. And why do we spend so much attention on Ed Oliver, Todd McShay's top 5 NFL draft prospects? Your reaction to Todd's top 5? He's got Ed in spot number 2.
Clearly feels good about the defensive personnel this year.
No kidding.
Not a single offensive player that's going to crack the top 5. If I were to guess, that'll change slightly here in the months to come.
Dropped interception. Third one of the night for the Houston defense. It's been dropped. This time Nick Watkins, second down. Well, if you take the top 15 on Todd's list, you have 10 defensive linemen. So not just defensive players. It just seems to be an all-time year for defensive linemen.
And particularly good at defensive tackle. I mean, you have Rashawn Gary, who can play end and tackle. You have, obviously, Ed Oliver's kind of unique and can do a bunch of different things for you. It's a really good year. Outside of Nick Bosa, who, of course, is going to be very wealthy coming off the edge, the defensive tackle spot's very good this season.
But you do think, you referenced it there briefly, you think there's one guy who's maybe off the radar a little bit now, not in terms of fans, but off the draft radar. You think there's one guy who can shoot toward the top.
I do, and his name's Dwayne Haskins, the quarterback at Ohio State. He has the size, and he's been unbelievably accurate. Makes NFL throws look easy, and in a year when quarterbacks are a huge question mark, right now Drew Lock at Missouri is probably the #1 guy. Dwayne Haskins might throw his hat in the ring, and people will love him when they get him around and Let's watch him throw in person.
Boomer having a scramble, throws it away. 4th down coming up. Could be the final real play of the game here. You kind of feel for Tulsa, don't you? They have been close before this year, and they had a lead into the 4th quarter, and everything just kind of came apart. We saw Corey Taylor limping back to the locker room when they lost him. In fact, that one play where he got stuffed, where he clearly wasn't 100%, was a big play in this game.
Huge play, but they've really made progress tonight. I know that the stat line would indicate otherwise, but it feels like the turnovers might be a thing of the past. Boomer played well enough in his first start to get another one next week.
On 4th down, takes a hit, throws. That one is out of bounds, incomplete. And that's how this game is essentially going to come to an end. Houston was challenged and pushed backwards by that big offensive line, but they responded in maybe their best quarter of football all year.
No doubt. And obviously in the sign of adversity too. I mean, to have a week off and to come out a little flat for the first 3 quarters. We asked Laura, hey, check on the offense. Is there a sense of urgency? How are they reacting down there? No problem. Business as usual. Next drive, touchdown. Next drive, touchdown. Next drive, touchdown. And they pull away. So it's been a really impressive 4th quarter from the Cougars.
Hopefully for Tulsa, Corey Taylor is going to be okay in the golf cart. That doesn't seem like it. King will take a knee. So they'll have to do that one more time. I think you're right. That kid earned another start, even though he made some mistakes. He showed some talent.
He did, and he showed some toughness too. I mean, he hung in there. And this is one of the better defenses that he'll probably face, especially when it comes to the pass rush. I mean, they were making him feel it. He escaped the pocket. He was poised. He was accurate. And yeah, the stat line is not going to be pretty under any circumstance. When you're way under 50% passing and you have an interception, a couple other drops, it's never going to be pretty, but he's done a good enough job to warrant another opportunity.
Greg McElroy, great having you with us on Thursday Night Football. Will you come back?
I will be back with you whenever you want, Dave Fleming.
Whenever. We had you at Thanksgiving of last year. We were thankful for that. We always love having you. Great job as usual. Tulsa fought hard here on the road, but ultimately for Philip Montgomery, more frustration for this Tulsa program. Major Applewhite's Cougars get a big win. Their first in conference play. They are 4-1, and they are in position to be one of those teams to threaten in the group of 5. Ed Oliver and company take care of business. Our final score, 41-26 Houston. Sports Center coming up next for Laura Rutledge, Greg McElroy, our entire crew. Dave Fleming saying so long from Houston. Sports Center, 15 seconds away.